Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a bit of a combination art challenge. I am doing the Draw This Again challenge as well as a one marker challenge. Now I did this artwork, I'm going to put on the screen about here, and I did this probably in 2016. It was quite a while ago, a few years ago, and I want to draw it again and see how well I have come. Now I actually do have this drawing as a video on my channel if you really want to go see, but it is quite an old video. There's no narration or anything like that, but if you are interested in having a look, I will definitely leave a link in the description for that very old video. Anyways, so the marker I'm using today for the one marker challenge is VO1, which is called Heath. And also for this I am going to be using a white gel pen and a black multi-liner. Now this is mainly because, well, it is a one marker challenge and these aren't markers, so I think it's alright to use them. They're line art tools. Anyways, yeah, let's just get right into it. So I started off just with a light sketch of a cat. Now to improve on the last one, I actually decided to use a reference this time, because I remember last time when I drew the cat, I actually didn't use a reference, and that's probably why the anatomy was not the best. Of course, it was a more cartoony style, so that's why it still turned out alright. But with this one, I really wanted to sort of push the quality in the artwork. So of course I wanted to try and have it look a little bit more realistic, and that's why I decided to go with a reference. Now for this style of this artwork, I am trying to go more on the side of semi-realism instead of like cartoony. But also with the limitations that I have, the marker, I can only color in with one marker, I actually had to sort of draw in the details with line art instead of with like colors and shading and that kind of thing. So yeah, I just tried to make sure that I drew a cat in a nice sort of simple pose, but still have a sort of slight elegance to it. I actually used a Bengal cat for the reference of the body shape and pose, but I also didn't do the Bengal sort of patterns on the cat. I ended up just going with sort of simple stripes. Now for the wings, I definitely wanted to do them way more detailed than last time. Last time I sort of just drew basic wings how I would draw them, and of course I didn't use a reference again, but that's okay. But this time I really wanted to sort of push the details, so of course I looked up a reference of wings on my phone, and I just had a look through different sort of types of bird wings, and I had a look at the way that feathers were placed on the wings and like different types of feathers and that kind of thing. And then I ended up just sketching down the basic shapes of the wings themselves. Now I definitely wanted to add more detail into the wings because the cat itself isn't overly detailed. It is a sort of just a basic cat, but also it does have stripes and that kind of thing. But I wasn't too sure how I was going to be able to get the stripes down on the cat because I only have like one color to color in with. So with the inking, I am using my Copic multi-liner here, and the paper I'm using at the moment is my Expressit blending card, and I'm doing this because this is the exact same paper and the same liner that I actually used for the original drawing. So I'm going in now, but I'm trying not to be too polished with the line art. I kind of want to give it that sort of very slight sketchy look, but still have it like look like actually nice. I didn't want to do like thick, bold, cartoony lines because I really wanted to sort of get like sort of fur textures and that kind of thing in the cat, because of course I'm going with a more slightly realistic cat. I definitely wanted to have more slightly realistic sort of lines, if that makes sense. Now with the wings, I definitely wanted to add a lot of detail, as I said before, in the wings. So I basically drew every single detail with the multiliner. Usually I don't really go this way. Most of my sort of details come when I color in the piece and add sort of touch ups at the end. But as I said, this is a one marker challenge, and of course I'm not going to be able to do all of that at the end, so I pretty much have to get all the details I want down now at the start before I even go to coloring it. So of course I'm just going through each feather now, and I'm drawing lots of little lines in the feather to sort of emphasize those, I don't know what they are, the parts of the feathers that is like little tiny fluffy bits. So smart. Anyways, so yeah, this is basically me just going through and getting all of those details down, and just not trying to be too precise with it. Of course, this is a slightly more sketchy kind of art style, but I actually really am liking how it's going. So after I get basically most of the shapes of all of the feathers down, I'm just sort of going around the basic shape of the cat and obviously doing the other wing. And I'm just going in here and there getting some darker parts because I can't really shade that much with this one marker, but I can sort of emphasize shadows and textures and that kind of thing with the multiliner. So of course this drawing is going to end up more line art heavy. So I'm just going in parts like underneath the wings and underneath all of the little feathers, and in some parts of the feathers just adding thicker lines over the top. And this is really good for me to be able to sort of emphasize darker parts of the drawing. I can get some darker sort of shadows with the line art on the bottom of the feet, and of course lots of little textures here and there to sort of more emphasize the markings on the cat. So yeah, I'm actually starting off detailing the cat's fur with the line art, and I'm not going too refined in this. I'm sort of just adding lots of little sketchy sort of lines here and there, and doubling it up and layering it over in some parts where I want it to be darker. And this is just so I can get those details in, because I can't really rely on the markers to get details with a one marker challenge. So here I am finally going in with just the one marker, V01 I think it is, Heath. I said it at the start of the video. And I'm basically just going in parts and doing a sort of light layer over the top of the cat. Now I am leaving some parts of this white because I still want to have highlights, and this is mainly on the edges of the cat's legs, and yeah, just bits like that. And I'm sort of just doing a little bit of a flicking motion to sort of get a bit of variation on the cat's body. Now I did layer this marker a whole lot when I did this. With one marker challenges you can't really, like, it's quite hard to get darker shadows when you're actually using a very light color. So I'm just layering it over the top with lots and lots of layers just to try and push those shadows a little bit and try and get a little bit more contrast, because that's really what I want to try and get today. Now with this cat I am colouring in most of the body of the cat, but leaving some parts white, mainly the cat's snout and its eyes, and little bits in its ears, but also the wings. The wings I'm actually going to colour in minimally, and this is mainly just because I want the wings to sort of stand out from the cat, if you know what I mean. I'm not just going to colour this in one whole block colour. I'm going to really try and shade with this, because you really want to get more details if you can. Now it did get lots of different sort of shadows, but as the marker dries it sort of goes back to this one tone, which is a little bit annoying because I kept going over those stripes to try and get more and more shades, but of course you can't, you're sort of limited in the way. But on the wings I ended up actually getting a little bit of that marker just to sort of add a little bit of a texture on the sort of fuzzy parts of the wings, and also just a little bit of shading as well. So I'm coloring in the shadows. After that, I'm going in with my gel pen, and this is just to sort of bring back some of those highlights and also add a little bit more detail and texture to the cat's fur. I'm also going around and just getting some more highlights on the edges, as well as adding some white whiskers. After this, I basically just went back over the whole thing with my multi-liner again, just to push those shadows just a little bit more. And yeah, here is the final result, and I'm actually quite happy with the results of this. I actually really like how it turned out. It's definitely better than the first attempt at this I did like a few years ago. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. So here are the results, and I'm actually quite happy with it. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Is this gonna focus? There you go. Look at that. I think that's quite a bit better, and I do like this drawing a lot. I find that there's a lot more detail in this drawing than the last one, but yeah, so I think I've improved, hopefully. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone!